Hey guys, this is Mike from BTech Reviews here, and today we take a look at the Pixel 6 Pro versus the Google Pixel 4a. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is Mike from BTech Reviews, and I'm doing kind of a weird video here today. Not a video that I normally would do, I guess, but I wanted to compare the Pixel 6 Pro on my right-hand side over here against the Pixel 4a. So last year, Google released the Pixel 4a device, which at the time of the release was only $349 brand new, and it's still available, I believe, on Amazon and other websites. But this has actually been one of my favorite Pixel devices up till now, right? And this was actually my first Pixel device that I've ever owned, right? Currently, I own 4 Pixel devices. Hashtag Team Pixel, by the way. Shout out to you guys. And of course, my most recent acquisition would be, of course, the Pixel 6 Pro, which again, we got it recently. About a week ago, a little more than a week, and I've been testing it out. I've been having fun with it, and of course, this is their flagship device. So I wanted to test them out. So definitely not a review or a video that I normally do, but I wanted to compare the two just because, again, this is an $899 phone. This is a $349 phone. So, what are the comparisons? Where does the Pixel 4a stack up versus the Pixel 6, etc., guys? So again, let's go ahead and get this comparison started. Alright, so let's get started, guys, and I guess the first thing that I would like to go over is physical features of the phone here. So the Pixel 4a, obviously the much cheaper of the devices, right, only has one camera sensor, right, opposed to the Pixel 6 Pro, which has 3 on the back, right? So again, you want to, obviously the Pro being the flagship of the devices now, it has that tri-camera setup in the back, and obviously it's going to get more dynamic range. It's going to get a lot more zoom in capabilities. You're going to get a lot more stabilization when it comes to video, etc. like that. But both at the moment can get Android 12, so that's the cool part about that is, again, if you guys are an Android user and Pixel user, you will get those updates on the fly, right? So again, one of my favorite things about the Pixel 4a is the size, guys. So the size of this phone is only a 5.8-inch screen, right? 5.81 inches to be exact, right? And it's a very lightweight phone, right? Super very light. So you want to make sure you get a case with this to make sure, because once you have it in your pocket, it feels like there's nothing there. So I did have to get a case, again. For those that are interested, my favorite cases are Spigen cases, and now Ghost Tech sends me cases as well, so you can check those out in my other videos if you guys want. But again, all the way around, it's more of a plasticky, feel to the back. It does have a little bit of fingerprint magnet, but not too much. You know what I mean? It's just a solid black color, right? This only came in one color. The cool part about some of the Pixel devices is they do come with the the power button that has a color there. But it's a very simple phone, right? You got that one little cutout for the camera sensor, and it's really only one cutout. If you think about it, now that I think about it, Apple kind of copied this, little presentation there, because their new iPhones have like a diagonal direction on their, on their lenses. So again, of course, you have the LED light there, or the shutter light there, with the camera sensor in the back. But again, the most favorite part is the hand size of this for me, because it's easy to hold in the hand and it's not a heavy phone, opposed to this mammoth of a beast. So again, the Pixel 6 Pro is it's a 6-inch phone, right? And again, I'm not a fan of phones that are over the 6-inch range. This is a 6.7-inch phone, so if you look at it directly, obviously you can see here that you can stick the Pixel 4a on the inside, which is pretty nuts, right? Again, I'm not a huge fan of big devices like this, but I can see why Pixel decided to throw out a ginormous screen for their Pro series, just like Apple does in a way. For the most part, again, that big screen is going to give you a lot to look at. Again, the differences here though is the Pixel 6 Pro does have somewhat of a curved edging on the screen here, as you can see on both sides, and it's not really functional, to be honest. I've seen other phone devices that have like that edge bleed that have some sort of functionality with it, but in this case there's really no functionality to have that bleeding edge of the screen, and it's really kind of annoying, to be honest, because you really have to get like a really good case in order for this to not like fall flat on its face and then break, you know what I mean? But other than that, Physical feature wise, you know, you have a full glass back on this one compared to the 4A. Obviously the 4A is just a polycarbonate back, right? It's more of a flat screen also, if you guys already saw that, right? It does have that camera bump, by the way. So for those of you guys who are interested, it looks big on camera, but honestly, it's really not that bad. And with the case, you don't even notice it. But if you don't end up using a case, again, your finger fits there perfectly. So it does make one-hand usability a little bit easier. But in my opinion, again, I'm just not a fan of the size of the screen. Again, all the way around, you do have like that sort of high-quality aluminum finish. There is no color button on the power button there, unfortunately. You do have like kind of like whitish buttons on the side there. No headphone jack, by the way. So if you guys are wondering, Pixel 4a does have a headphone jack, which again, if you guys don't have the option for any Bluetooth headsets, that would be pretty good for you. But in this case, all you have up here is that little antenna bands that you have up there. That's again kind of oddly colored in a way. On the bottom, of course, you do have your USB Type-C ports. You know, very similar as far as that goes. Again, it's just that this one's a more of a plasticky build. Again, but sometimes it's not about the build quality, sometimes it's about the usability and the features. So going from this, let's go ahead and get these phones turned on, and let's see how long it takes. I'm gonna get them both turned on. And again, if you guys look at the side there, power buttons are both on the very top. So let's see which one starts faster. Again, this is a Snapdragon 733G processor, and this is the new Google Tensor chips. So I'm gonna go ahead and get both of them started on 3, 2, 1. There we go. Looks like the Pixel 6 Pro wanted to turn on first, according to this. Let's see if there's a huge difference as far as startup. So obviously the Pixel 6 Pro is going to start. Let's see how long it takes for the Pixel 4a to again get it going. And this is waiting, so okay, so it took maybe about an extra like 5 to 10 seconds to start up. Again, granted, you know, again, I don't recall if I had to make any updates, etc. like that. So let me get these devices unlocked, and then we'll get this going, okay? Alright guys, so again, you can see here that I have the phones back to back over here, and I have them set up like on a little bit of a little stand here so that I can access both of them at the same time. As you can see here, they both have somewhat of the same layout. So when I activated this phone, or when I turned it on and got it set up, I actually ended up transferring everything that was on this device to my Pixel 6 Pro, and mostly because I use the Pixel 4a a lot, that's why. And again, it's a phone that I consistently use and I have used over the past year, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just mimic it, download all the same apps. Although you might see a few things differently on the screen, right? Obviously you can see that these screens do both have OLED panels, right? So of course, you know, the Pixel 6 Pro is going to have a better resolution, right, at 1440 by 3120, while the Pixel 4a obviously will only have that 1080 by 2340 screen. But again, pixel per inch as far as the Pixel 4a go is 443, right? While the one on the Pixel 6 Pro is 512. So I've actually never owned a phone that has over 500 ppi on it, which is pretty crazy. But again, you know, it's really hard to tell sometimes, you know, with these new OLED panels. Like, they all look good to me, you know, and this is a 60 hertz display, this is 120 hertz. So let's go ahead and start kind of looking and feeling the phones around. So I'm actually going to kind of just scroll up and go through the features here. So I'm going to scroll through the apps. Obviously, you be the judge. Which ones do you think is quicker? I'm going to tell you right now that the Pixel 6 Pro looks like it does definitely scroll through a lot quicker on my end. You can probably, it's hard to tell to the naked eye probably if you're looking at this on a video, right? But for me, I can literally tell right away that the Pixel 6 Pro is, you know, moving faster on the screen. You know, this is a lot more snappier as far as like me moving. But again, to any normal user, like, you know, for someone that's not, you know, coming from like a big flagship, jumping from one to another, you're really not going to notice too much of a difference, right? So there's that. So I do have both phones on Wi-Fi, although I do have the SIM card on here, and for the most part, I do want to again test out like how fast apps start, right? So let's go ahead and start with apps like Powerdirector, for instance. So Powerdirector obviously is a video editing app, right? And you know, let's see how long it takes for it to start. I do edit videos on both these apps here, so let's go ahead and on 3, 2, 1. So clearly it looks like the Pixel 6 Pro one on that one, but it didn't really take too much long after the on the 4A, so that's pretty interesting, right? Okay, let's take a look at our photo gallery on 3, 2, 1. Again, looks like the Pixel 6 Pro one on that one. As you can see here, I do have a lot of the same images, obviously, because you know, I do have Google Photos, and it shares it to the cloud, so you're going to see a lot of that on both. But anyways, I mean, both of them are still extremely smooth. If I'm just scrolling through this, like, you know, whatever, like, you can kind of tell that it's a lot smoother on the 6 Pro, but you know, significantly big difference from going from a Snapdragon to a Tensor chip. You know, again, it really just depends on the person, right? Let's go ahead and hit the Instagram app now on 3, 2, 1. And keep in mind, looks like the Pixel 6 Pro one on that one again. Keep in mind, right, that again, I had 0 apps open on the phones when I launched these. So I restarted the phones. I made sure all of the apps were clean. And again, you know what I mean. Let's see which one takes more time to load. Again, we're both on Wi-Fi here at home. And both phones just seem to work, you know, great. That's what I love about Pixel devices, right? Like they're both amazing to look at, you know, pinch to zoom. You know what I mean? Regardless of, you know, the processing chip, which I know Google is, you know, trying to push their own chip, right? The fact is that, you know, the way they optimize Android to be on these devices just and makes them run so smoothly, it's just ridiculous, you know what I mean? And I really love it and enjoy it. So again, shout out to Team Pixel over here, right? Okay, let's go to the next app here. Let's see. Let's try Twitter now, right? Again, I'm not going to jump into apps like TikTok. I don't want to get any copyright strikes over here, but Twitter, again, on both phones. Let's see how they do on 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, hold on. We're going to have to do that again. Sorry, I accidentally jumped the gun on the Twitter app on the Pixel 4a. So on 3, 2, 1. So clearly you can see the difference between the 4A and the 6 Pro as far as how fast apps will start, right? And again, that just goes back to their Tensor chip and whatnot, you know what I mean? Again, shout out to Latrizzle, by the way. If he sees this video later, I want to give you a shout out, bro. And like now that I have, you know, Twitter open, definitely I can see the stutteriness on the Pixel 4a compared to the Pixel 6 Pro. Although of course I have heard complaints on the 6 Pro as far as like what's going on with the Twitter app. I don't know if there's just something going on, but this one does seem to be a little bit stuttery. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. While this one seems to be running very smooth. And again, I don't know if it's just my internet speed or the load speed, right? But it's just one of those deals where, you know, again, you can tell the jank here. But again, coming from someone that prefers to use mid-range phones, I still probably would want to use the 4A over this just because of the size of the screen right now. This might get annoying. I might have to update the Twitter app. It might be as simple as just updating the app because it could be an app issue. So we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and okay, hold on. I was gonna say let's go ahead and open up YouTube, but let's not open up YouTube. Okay, so we're gonna do YouTube on 3, 2, 1. So obviously, again, the 6 Pro wins on this one, which is not a shocker, right? You know, for people that are watching this and wins, like, why is this guy doing a 6 Pro versus the 4A? You know, I want you guys to see, you know, what the performance difference is on from a $350 phone to a $899 phone, right? And again, you know, shout out to all of the people I'm following here on Twitter, by the way. Pro the Doge over here. Watch JR Go. Of course, we'll see if some of my boys over here. Tech for Your Needs, shout out to you. Go subscribe to him. Sorry, I'm looking at a lot of cryptocurrency videos now, and these might actually be different YouTube. I have 2 different channels here working, so that's why you're seeing different sets of videos. So okay, going back to the home, let's go ahead and just check out the Messenger app now on 3, 2, 1. Okay, so not too bad. It looks like, you know, Pixel 6 Pro won, but not by a long shot. Let's check out, okay, not the camera app, although the camera app would be a good example, right? Let's try the camera app on 3, 2, 1. And let's do a front-facing view over here. Hello. What's up, guys? Mike from B-Tech Reviews here. My hair's a little messed up. Sorry about that. Obviously, there's going to be camera differences, which I'm not going to go over in this video. But again, I just wanted to kind of give you guys that visual on like what's happening as far as like app usability and whatnot. Let's check the phone dialer on 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you can see here that, again, Pixel 6 Pro 1. Obviously, I don't really have that many phone calls on this one. Let's do the Play Store on 3, 2, 1. Wow, for a second there, it looks like the Pixel 4a one on that one, but I could be wrong. Again, we might have to flashback that, but I would want to say it's close, though, but I want to say the 4a one on that one. But anywho, you guys be the judge on that. Let's try speed test on 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that one took a little bit longer on the 4a, which again, you're starting to see that stutteriness compared to the 6 Pro, right? Obviously, again, that's not going to bother some people, but you can see the difference there. Okay, let's do a few more apps here, guys. Let's see if I have anything that... Let's do Geekbench. Let's try Geekbench on 3, 2, and I want to say Geekbench 3.5 is or Geekbench 5.0 is installed on these, so you can see here that again the 4a is running Android 12. It's running a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip with 6 cores, clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. It's got several cores. It's actually, I believe it's an octa-core processor, if I'm not correct on that, actually, which has 6 gigs of RAM as well. So it's pretty crazy, right? The Snapdragon 730G, right? Which again, it's a snappy little phone, but at the same time, I think it's over spec for what it is, though. Again, 6 gigs of RAM with again an octa-core processor. And of course, you have the Pixel 6 Pro, right? Which of course you see here has a million cores over here, right? But if you go to benchmark scores, obviously you can see here that obviously you're going to see the score difference from one phone to the other. Of course, on the multi-score phone score for the Pixel 6 Pro, we have it at 2500, while the multi-core score for the 4a is at around 1400. Single core score for this one is about 529, opposed to this one, which is 800. So I've run a few tests on those. And, again, of course, obviously the Pixel 6 is going to win there every single time, you know what I mean? Especially with that tensor chip there. But, again, guys, just an amazing, again, I'm just impressed in general on how these phones both do, you know what I mean? Considering this phone's a year old, it's running a mid-tier, processing chip, which again, it's not even a Snapdragon 7, what is it, a 765G processor like you would see in the Pixel 5a, right? Or even in the Pixel 5, it's again the Pixel 4a. This is not even the 5G version, by the way. So just to show you guys again that it's got stuff going on for it, you know what I mean? And the cool part is, again, if you guys don't have the money, just so you guys know, there's options out there, right? This phone still takes great photos. It still takes great video. No, it doesn't shoot 4K at 60 frames a second, but it will shoot at 4K at 30. It takes very stabilized video. It gets the job done for what it is. One thing that I won't go over on this review or this little comparison is the fingerprint sensor, and the reason why I'm saying that is because this one has a back fingerprint sensor in the back, and this one has an on-screen fingerprint sensor. And for those of you guys who have watched my other video on the in-screen fingerprint sensor on the 6 Pro, you guys definitely know that it's not, it's not amazing, I'll tell you that much. And a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other people, influencers, have complained about again, the in-screen fingerprint sensor. A lot of them are comparing it to the Samsung Galaxy series ones, which have ultrasonic apparently. So there's a difference between those ones. Obviously, these ones are a little bit slower because they actually have to take light in to read your fingerprint sensor, opposed to the ones on those other devices. So again, guys, take it with a grain of salt. This is just a comparison of the two phones, right? I'm not I'm not saying this one's better than the other, right? Obviously, spec-wise, the 6 Pro is going to win every single time, right? But again, for people that are still looking for, a nice device that will get the job done as far as picture quality, video quality, you know, screen size, usability, you know, Pixel 4a is still a great phone, right? So again, guys, this is Mike from BTech Reviews signing off. This was just a small comparison video. Smash the like button if you guys watched all the way through. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you guys like the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.